Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades. I'm Matt Connerton, and to my right, flipping through some sort of, what is that, like a
Communist
owner's
Manifesto.
Manual? Oh, the Communist Manifesto, yes. Is the Honorable Gary S. Hopper.
Hey, Matt! Top of the evening to you.
Yes.
Yes, Ms. Representative Sousa's supposed to be here. I don't know where she is.
Isn't she one of the guests who's always late?
Is she?
I think so. Do you like my water bottle, by the way?
That is very pink.
I know.
What does it
It's
say?
for
on it?
breast cancer. It's not mine, obviously.
It's for
but-
breast cancer. Like you get breast cancer if you drink out of that? That
I
seems
hope
like
not.
A dumb idea.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That sucks, because men do get it.
Yes, they do.
Peter Criss, drummer, the original drummer for my favorite band, Kiss,
Right.
is a breast cancer survivor.
Wait, what's his name?
Peter Criss.
Chris.
Yes, Criss.
Oh,
Peter
okay,
Criss.
So it's not Peter Kiss. Yeah, I don't know the names of those guys. I never liked them. You know.
Yeah, I know you're not
I don't like
you're not a
no,
Kiss fan.
No. I wanna party all day. Anyway, so.
Wow, you're ready to join a Kiss tribute band, and you don't
yeah.
even like Kiss.
Oh, yeah.
That's remarkable.
My hair's getting long enough.
Yeah, yeah.
I just got to put on makeup. Oh, what did I get? An invitation to see Ben Carson.
Ah, yes, Dr. Ben Carson.
That's
who just
actually, you know,
announced his run for the presidency.
as and I don't mean this to be flatter myself. I mean it literally. Just state legislators do a lot of work for $100 a year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But one of the cool things that happens as a state legislator is anybody who wants to run for president. Okay, this legislature itself is the ground game for anyone who wants to become president.
Right.
Okay, they're
Right.
the basic, because we have so many state legislators. If they can get enough of us involved, first of all, it covers a larger and larger territory depending on the quantity, and it they're all people that are used to running their own campaigns.
Right.
So they not only know how to do it, they also have a certain amount of name recognition if they do it in a certain area.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's the people who are running for president. They know what they're doing. Really suck up to the legislature. So I got free lunch from Donald Trump.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't
I've
know
been
it.
been to several of his speeches now.
Really?
Oh yeah, I've seen his hair up close.
Oh, Nick. But I haven't heard him yet. I haven't been to him. I've seen Ted Cruz. This is the reason I'm bringing that up is Pam Tucker, who was a guest a few weeks ago, just gave me an invitation to see Ben Carson, and then next week I'm going to go see Donald Trump, who has some definite positives, you know. The fact that he's got enough money where he doesn't have to, he doesn't owe anybody when he does get there.
That's true. He can self-fund. Yeah.
Based on, I never really followed his show, whatever the heck it was.
Oh, The Apprentice. Yeah.
Okay,
I've seen it a few times. Yeah.
That's not something I follow, but
Yeah.
a person with his business experience is probably going to be pretty direct and know who to put in the right positions to do a good job. Because anybody that's been gotten to that position understands that you're only as good as the people who are working for you.
Sure. Sure.
And President Obama didn't know that. So he has some real positives. But I want to see Ben Carson because I think he's a pretty smooth dude. He said something that wasn't too politically astute the other day.
Talking about the vaccinations?
No, wasn't the vaccinations. What was it? And I hate to say this wrong. Something about homosexuality is kind of as a disease or something.
Really?
Yeah. Which, you know, he I'm sure he believes it, but there, you know, it's even if you believe something like that, if you're running for president,
Gotta have a filter.
you got to have a filter.
Yes.
You know? And I don't think it's something that would actually affect anything he's doing,
Right.
president. Except maybe military, but other than that, he's not like he can pass laws.
Right. Yeah. I don't think I mean, you know, a lot of people too, though, who run for president, they know they have no chance of winning the nomination.
But they believe that they can be a viable vice presidential candidate.
Right. That or if they have a book to sell. You know, and he's an author. I mean, a lot of these people, you know, they treat a run for the presidency or a run for the nomination as a glorified book tour. I mean, Newt Gingrich in 2012, he was, doing.
He seemed like he was doing that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, instead of traditional campaign stops, he was doing book signings. He's very prolific. He's always writing books. He and his wife, and making these documentaries and stuff. So he's always got something to sell. Herman Cain, same thing. He put a book out, and then next thing you know, he's on the campaign trail.
Yeah,
you know, and I don't blame them for it.
Wasn't Cain the one who had to resign because of some infidelity?
There were a lot of allegations of sexual harassment that just kept piling up on that guy. Yeah.
So I don't know that he wasn't a legitimate candidate because he got hit with that real hard fast.
Yeah.
So he might have bailed out not because of a lack of sincerity to run.
I don't even know if it's a lack of sincerity. I think all these people would like to be president, but I think too
Why aren't you running for president then?
I don't know if I'd like to be.
I'd like to be.
There's like a lot of responsibility and stuff. Like, don't you have to do a lot of stuff?
Not if you get the right people in the right places. You can go home and take naps.
That sounds pretty good.
That's why I want to do it.
No kidding.
Yeah,
I didn't know about
a
the
lot
naps.
of people that really know what they're doing, and then you go play video games.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, well, you like the Final Fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. Final Fantasy 14. So.
How's your eye, by the way?
Oh yes.
We didn't get a chance to chat before the show, so I'm curious.
Last week I was out because I had a cataract surgery, and my eyes are so good now I can actually see what Matt's saying.
Excellent.
I know, right?
That's fantastic.
That's quite an improvement.
It's gonna make the show a lot better.
It would, if I listened.
Right.
I can hear what you're saying. I didn't say listen to what you're saying.
Baby steps, Gary.
Right.
Baby
right.
steps.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it went. It was Saturday was my favorite son's birthday, and we went over to Pizza Hut because we have the little kids, so you got to go someplace that tolerates screaming children.
Yes.
And so we went to Pizza Hut, and I don't know. It must have looked like I was on drugs to people who didn't know, but I'm just sitting there staring at my salad.
Yeah.
Just because the tomatoes were so red.
Yeah.
And my vision as far as the clarity isn't better.
Right.
But the colors, everything's so much brighter.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
That is.
So
yeah.
I'm just like staring at my tomatoes.
Yeah. Huh.
And I did not use any medical marijuana.
Right.
At all that much.
Okay.
Speaking of medical marijuana, that much I didn't use. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. Senate bill. Me and John Burt are on the opposite ends of things. Seems like frequently lately. Senate Bill 106, restricting the sale or possession of synthetic drugs, i.e. K2. We've talked about that on the show. That's the one that bath salts and stuff like that, kids are going and getting at some of the convenience stores or the head shops, and some of them are like, it's killing some people.
Right.
I think that has something to do with the people going nuts and biting people and things like that. I'm not sure about that, but I've heard there's all kinds of horrific reactions to that because the people mixing the drugs aren't necessarily don't have your best interest at heart. Let's say, was that reasonable?
I think that's fairly reasonable.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I don't want to judge without knowing any of these folks, but I don't want to know any of these folks.
I don't really either. I mean, if you'd sell something that you know is very, very likely going to cause young people to self-destruct or do some amazingly horrible things, it's not like marijuana.
Right.
People smoke pot and they eat Twinkies.
All kinds of stuff, really. Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah, Rice Krispie treats.
Various items.
Yeah, I mean, but somebody who's high in pot, the biggest likelihood is they might get like a stubbed toe from going back and forth to the refrigerator.
Right, exactly, and that's just an everyday hazard.
Yes, not that I've ever done that. I'm just guessing.
Right.
Strictly speculation.
Yes.
So. But this K2 stuff is not like that. I guess it has some traces or similarities to marijuana. And the problem with the legislation prior to this is that once they narrow down what the drug is, they write a law or whatever to make it illegal, and the chemists just change the formula. So
Sure.
now that it's not, so
Yeah.
the law we passed today changes that so that the enforcement agency can alter it depending on what's going on. So the police have some way of going in there and attacking the problem.
Now, where do you and John Burt differ on this?
John Burt got up and spoke against the bill itself. So did the House Republican Alliance spoke against it.
Okay.
Their argument is it's a free market and the state shouldn't get involved. And if people are aware of this stuff, then if they want to buy it, they buy it. If they don't, they don't.
Right.
I totally disagree with that. I think if you're selling a product that you know, it's like anything. You see, there's John Burt is far more of a libertarian than a Republican.
Yeah, I'm
He's
starting
very libertarian.
I'm starting to get that. Yeah.
And the libertarian mindset is buyer beware, tough luck.
I think that's a simplification of it.
Yeah,
I
of course,
don't quite.
It is absolutely a simplification of it. But their mindset is anything should be legal because people have a right to destroy themselves and or not.
Right.
The traditional Republican mindset is within reason. That's true. But if people are selling, and I probably side a little bit with the Democrats on this, if somebody's selling a product that is known to do harm, I mean real harm, like bath salts and things like that, that's just, to me, it's not any different than payday lenders. They are preying upon people and trying to make a dollar at the expense of the citizens of the state.
See, to me, part of why I would oppose something like this is I'm just very skeptical that adding any more laws actually does anything to solve the problem. But I'm wondering, too, you said that your position tends to put you in the same column on something like this with some of the Democrats, which makes me say, have we found another issue where possibly I could be considered to the right of you?
Holy crap.
And if we have, I wish we had some sort of special effects for that moment.
We should. Well, you got special effects over there.
Oh, that's nothing on your works, right?
No, remember you had that one that said bells or whistles?
Oh, that was a long time ago. That's when we had the big monitor. I can't even see what's on this one.
Oh, okay, never mind. Anyway, that's your fault for not having special effects, but that would have been
I know.
appropriate.
We should have like bells and whistles.
But I don't know if that's to the right.
Well, yeah, I know. I know what you
don't really
mean.
know because that's basically, you know, the Democrats, Republican position is basically we don't believe in anarchy. We believe in limited government, not no government.
Right. Yeah.
Democrats believe that government is the solution.
Right.
So they're over government, and libertarians believe government is entirely the problem and it shouldn't have anything to do with anything.
Right.
Except for maybe a couple things like roads or
right.
Even then, if you're not using them, you shouldn't have to pay for them.
Right. Yeah, that's certainly what the anarchists believe.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to like the limited government idea, but on this stuff, I tend to be very sort of. I'm skeptical that additional legislation does any good, even though I mean, I agree with you in principle in that I don't think anyone should be selling anything or buying anything or using anything that is going to do them harm, but I just don't think that. I don't think that giving the police more power and all, I get very wary of. I think on this particular issue, I tend to be kind of libertarian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not me. I think if the police find out that Joe Schmo's Bar and Grill's selling spice to teenagers and stuff like that.
Oh, that's different. Okay, that's different. Selling it to kids, that's different.
I said teenagers, like 19, 18, 19. I didn't mean theoretically they can only sell it to 18 and older, which is odd, okay? That was their argument. No, maybe I'm confusing that with the because we did the liquid nicotine today too.
Oh, the e-cigs?
Yeah, maybe I'm confusing the two. But it doesn't make sense that they could only sell that to 18 and over because it's being sold as bath salts.
Right.
That would be like a 12-year-old can't go buy a bar of soap. How does that make any sense?
Right.
So I don't know. I guess I should check my facts on that. But I never do, so why would I start now? Yeah, so I don't know. That one I voted for the bill, and I hope it gets through. And I hope, to me, if you got somebody who's selling that crap at a local store, and your kid comes in all frickin' messed up on bath salts, and you find out that, wouldn't you be tempted to go down there and punch that jerk right in the nose?
Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, don't sell it to kids. No, I'm with you there.
Oh, I don't see what would restrict them from selling it to kids if it's not theoretically fit for human consumption, which it has warning labels on it.
Right.
People just know what it is, so they go and buy it.
Right.
And the people who are selling it absolutely know what it is.
Yeah.
They're not brain dead. Well, I guess they could be.
Right.
So yeah, I am totally in favor of that. I mean, am I apprehensive about giving some bureaucrat the right to just start writing that this is illegal based on its chemical compound?
That's my fear.
Well, we'll trip over that bridge when it comes to it, but I believe it's very narrow band of chemicals that are included or types. But it should cover it. So that I think was a good thing. But like I said, John...
Just realized I didn't mute my phone. Forgive me.
That's all right.
I'm bad about that lately. I keep forgetting to do that.
Yeah.
And then it makes funny noises.
So what else did we do? Then, now I'm sure you'll agree with me on this one. We also killed a bill that would have regulated the e-cigarettes.
Good. Yes. Thank heavens. I'm glad.
That was pretty decisive. They wanted special child-proof caps on it and all kinds of other crap.
This is nanny state BS.
That was nanny state BS.
You know, in Portland, Maine, 7-1, the city council there voted to ban e-cig use in public places, just like with cigarettes.
But why?
Because they're foolish. Because you've got the big tobacco lobby pushing for all this.
Wait, in public places?
In public places, yep.
Like in the park?
Yeah, everywhere. Just like 7-1, the city council there voted for that.
Speaking of that, I was sitting out front for a while. I didn't want to come inside because it's so nice out.
Yeah.
And I saw a guy go over to out in front of the studio down on Elm Street is a one of those cigarette things where you put it in and it's got that long tube that drops it down.
Oh, yeah.
Guy picked it up looking for any cigarette butts. Like, this is myself. Man, that guy is frugal.
Yes.
He's very frugal.
What do they call that? There's a word. Snipes. Is that what it is? Snipes. I think when it's when you pick up a cigarette butt and try to smoke it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've never been a smoker, but I think that's what that's called.
I think a sniper is the guy that's always see waiting up on the building on my way in.
Yeah, he makes me very nervous.
Yeah, I mean, that guy.
I'm pro Second Amendment and everything, but that guy concerns me.
Yeah. But okay, so we killed that. We killed the bill to regulate that, which I think is a good thing.
Yes.
So that's kind of like I was kind of on opposite ends on those two.
Yeah. Now that hurts your score, by the way. The first thing with the HRA, right?
Yeah, that one hurts my score.
Yeah, you rhino, you.
I know. I'm horrible.
Liberal.
I know. Oh, we got Bill O'Brien coming in a couple of weeks.
Oh, good.
So he can call me a rhino to my face anyway.
Yeah.
Let's see. Including fetus in the definition of another. We've talked about this. Geez, ever since the show started, we've tried to get through
Is this the personhood thing?
No, it's not personhood. It's like, in other words, if you if
Oh, is it the fetal homicide?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if Joe Schmo runs into the side of a car because he's drunk, and the woman driving has a miscarriage, and the child was, I think it's 8 weeks. You could probably read that more gooder than me.
Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Criminal justice and public. Okay. Yeah. SB 40 FN. What's FN mean? Do you know?
Fiscal note.
Okay.
So if you go on the state website, the general court website, and you see a bill that says FN, it just means that it is going to cost money, or not necessarily,
Okay.
but it has a fiscal impact, so it has to go through Finance Committee.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Including a viable fetus in the definition of another for the purposes of certain criminal offenses. And the HRA analysis was the platform states support the preborn child's fundamental right to life and personhood under the 14th Amendment and implement all constitutional and legal protections. And the HRA recommendation is support the committee amendment, which is the language previously approved in HB 560, because you mentioned, this has been tried before. If it fails, support a motion to table, oppose enhanced penalty amendment likely to be offered. Support, what's that? OTP/A. What does that mean?
Ought to pass as amended.
Gotcha. With the committee amendment only.
Right.
Okay.
Now, I also wrote down the bad news, and that is it only passed by 40 votes.
Okay.
So that means the governor is probably going to veto it.
Yeah, I would assume. I would assume anyway, right? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if people voted. It's like on that the bill on spice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know that the House Republican Alliance didn't want me voting that way.
Right.
All right, but you still got to do what's right.
Sure. Yeah, you got to vote
And
your
whether
conscience.
you agree with me or not, I don't think it's. I think it was the right thing to do to allow them to penalize businesses that sell crap that is, killing in some cases killing our teenage kids, or older. I always say teenagers, but they're older too.
Yeah.
I'd be selling heroin at the local store. I think should be illegal.
Right.
So it's same to me. It's the same thing. Or is illegal. It should be illegal.
Right.
Anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah. So I think people should think for themselves, and if people thought for themselves, they'd realize there's like 38 states that already have a similar bill on the books.
Yeah.
And women still have the right to choose in all of those states,
right,
as far as I know.
Well, this is one of those things. This and parental notification, those are really the two things where, I consider myself pro-choice.
Right.
But if I'm talking to a fellow pro-choicer, I will sometimes, if I mention that I'm in favor of either of those things, the reaction that I get is, well, wait a minute, you told me you're pro-choice. How can you be in favor of these?
Right.
I guess I'm pro-choice with limitations.
Right. So what is when you discuss that with them, what is their justification with why if a woman is choosing to have a child,
well,
and then at 4 months down the way, somebody freaking kills her or kills the baby anyway.
Sure.
Why is that not homicide?
I don't, the argument that I hear is not so much against that is not necessarily homicide, but it's the whole, as we see with a lot of issues, not just this one, for a lot of people, it's that whole slippery slope thing. But an abortion is certainly a prime example of that, where a lot of people take the point of view that if you give even a little bit, that next thing you know, Roe v. Wade's overturned and all the states are outlawing abortion and all that. It's that slippery slope idea, which I understand the logic behind that. I know some people say, well, these pro-choicers, they think that abortion is great and all this, which is not. I mean, I'm pro-choice, and I don't agree with abortion. I don't want to legislate it because I think that's the wrong way to wipe it out. So I understand their logic, though. They think it's this sort of incrementalism, and that eventually it will lead to taking away abortion rights. I don't agree, but I understand their logic. But I do support things like the fetal homicide bill and parental notification. And geez, I would even, and this really gets me in trouble with my fellow pro-choicers, but I would even go so far as something like parental consent. Some people don't want to hear that, but I would.
No, I agree.
Yeah, well, I know you certainly. I mean, you're pro-life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so that's gonna go to the governor. So it's gonna depend a lot on what she wants to do. I mean, if she's gonna run, and the rumor is she's gonna run for United States Senate.
Yeah.
If she wants to run for the United States Senate, and she vetoes it, she kind of, at least in this instance, as far as I'm concerned, alienates 60 or 70% of the population. Because it's usually only the fanatic feminists types that don't believe in bills like this. It's a very, very narrow bandwidth of the population that agrees that disagrees with a bill like this.
Anyway. Sure. Or parental notification, for that matter.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So popular opinion supports the legislation, but whether or not she'll want to alienate her own base, it depends. I guess it's
a calculated risk.
Calculated risk.
Yeah.
If she allows it to go through without her signature, her base will be upset with her. But
Right.
she doesn't need her base to win the nomination.
Right.
What she needs is the soccer moms or the middle of the road, the average voter, and this would aggravate the average voter.
And she needs that outside money, that dark money that's going to come in. If she has donors, out-of-state donors who think that she could be a viable challenger for Kelly Ayotte, but if they don't like this, but they want to support her, or they're looking for a reason to support her, there's always that. Follow the money.
Yeah, that's true. But this falls in. See, I got a lot of my Second Amendment friends up there who think that Kelly Ayotte might allow constitutional carry to get through for that same reason, so that she doesn't aggravate the middle of the road Second Amendment people.
Yeah, because she's aggravated them before.
Yeah, but I don't think that issue, other than libertarians, most people don't care.
Really? You think so?
Absolutely. If you go and talk to most of the people in New Hampshire and say, do you think anybody should be able to carry a gun? Or do you think the law should stay the way it is, that people pay $10 and go get a permit to carry and they do a background check first?
Yeah.
I am willing to bet 70% of the people would rather keep it the way it is.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, I have no way of knowing. I mean, I certainly have no problem with constitutional carry, and I voted for it.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
And I hope the governor doesn't veto it, but I don't think she loses anything vetoing it.
I agree.
Yeah. There's just certain bills that only the insiders understand well enough to be pissed off if she does something about it.
Well, I wonder, too, in the case of constitutional carry, like you said, if you were to talk to most people are probably fine keeping it the way it is. I wonder if that's because we live in a state where, the gun laws are pretty lax to begin with, so it might be a case of just sort of, I don't know if apathy is necessarily the right word, but people are comfortable enough already where they don't feel like New Hampshire particularly infringes on their rights.
Yeah.
Whereas in a state like Massachusetts, for example, people who are pro Second Amendment might be more worked up about, we gotta change things.
Right.
Whereas here, the status quo, it's just kind of like, it's all right the way it is.
Yeah. I've run into that a lot. That's what I've seen.
Yeah.
I actually talked to Donald Trump's first lead man, I guess. I don't know who it would be other than that. At lunch, my free lunch.
Yeah. Yes. Whoever said there's no such thing as a free lunch was never a New Hampshire
well,
state
it wasn't
legislator.
free. I gave him wicked good advice. Wicked good.
Oh, well, there you go. And that's worth its weight in gold, except you can't actually weigh advice.
There was another legislator there who told him that Donald Trump should push for constitutional carry nationwide. I don't think
That's
there's
risky.
about a snowball's chance in that place down there of getting through.
Yeah.
And it would aggravate. I would guess that would really bother at least 60 or 70% of the population.
Yeah,
that is not
fly.
a winning argument.
No.
But I mean, but anyway, I agree with it.
Sure. Yeah.
But as far as an idea that you want to put forward and hang your hat on, I would not suggest that you're in favor of that until you're president, and then try to push for it.
Right.
But one that I think he could win on in New Hampshire, and would not, it would only aggravate places like Massachusetts, New York, and California, which he isn't. If he wins a nomination, he's not getting those anyway.
Correct.
But that idea is reciprocity. To push for reciprocity, and the argument is simple: that if I have a right to free speech, it is not removed from me as soon as I cross into Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I still have the right to free speech as soon as I cross that border. So why isn't also the case that if I have a permit to carry in New Hampshire, as soon as I cross that border, I shouldn't lose my Second Amendment?
Right.
That, to me, that's unconstitutional. I don't even know how that works.
Yeah. It's also just not terribly practical.
No, I just about got nailed on that. I was heading last year, I think it was. I went out to see my friend Lee Quant on the seacoast, and I'm driving back on my motorcycle, and I thought I was on one road, but I was actually on another one.
Yeah.
And I looked up and I saw a sign that said 495 next exit.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, no.
Oh. Yeah.
I got no helmet on, and I got my pistol in my pocket.
Oops.
Whoa. Exit stage right. So I turned around. I didn't even stop to put my helmet on.
Were you on 95?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I was going to say, it's really easy to make that mistake on 95 and end up in Mass. I've done that.
I mean, it was, I don't know what road it is.
Okay.
One of those roads that goes into Massachusetts, obviously.
Yeah.
But, or the fact that if I was in my truck and I had just gone to my friend's house, the possibility of me having some ammunition that if we went to, because sometimes we go to Kittery and come back and have a hamburger over at some place in Portsmouth. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
And me coming back from Kittery with a few boxes of ammunition wouldn't be out of the pale.
Sure.
Is it reasonable to be arrested and have looking at a year in jail in Massachusetts because I had ammo in the car?
No.
That's totally unreasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, was it my fault for going in there by accident? Yes. But by the same token, I don't know.
Right.
So I think a presidential candidate that is willing to say that I believe in reciprocity and people's freedom of speech isn't lost when they cross state lines, and neither should their Second Amendment rights.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have a hugely winning argument that most people can grasp and understand.
Yes.
Constitutional carry. It's less. It's very easily understood by the insiders.
Right.
But it takes a lot of explaining.
He'd be painted as an extremist.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be bright, and I don't think he got where he is by being stupid. So.
Right.
What else? That's pretty much it. We had a short day.
Yeah.
I didn't write down anything else. So. I didn't even understand this one. Enabling driver's license to indicate indicate a medically recognized disorder. I didn't. That just went through like that. I didn't really get to listen to the. I'm not even sure there was any debate on it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that, how big my license would have to be if I have to list all of my medical disorders.
Yeah. Well, it says here the HRA analysis is not clear why this is needed. Common practice is to wear a wristband or neck chain for an immediate and obvious indicator of medical issues. Rummaging through a wallet or purse to search for this information on a driver's license seems inappropriate. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. You know, I'm never for more laws that don't have any point to them.
Yeah, but how else are we going to stay busy as legislators
Well,
if we don't have laws that don't make any sense?
I can answer that. You guys repeal stuff. I like Jen's idea. Year of repeals.
Year of repeals.
Did you see?
I've never seen. There's so few times I've been up there since I've seen anything repealed.
Oh yeah, it's easy to make laws. It's hard to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Have you seen in Canada now? They made it a law that their legislature or whatever they call it. What do they call it in Canada?
Parliament.
Parliament. I'm sorry. Thank you. Yes.
It'll be $5.
Parliament.
Right.
Has decided that now every time they make a new law or regulation, something else must be repealed. So nothing new without repealing something old, which I think is awesome. Because I assume they're just like us, where they have laws on top of laws on top of laws.
Right, right.
And everyone's committing felonies every day without even realizing it.
Yeah.
So I think that's
I don't
great.
know. Well, yeah. Well, we would have passed that law on the. That would be tough in the United States to do that. I don't know what the system is up there, but
yeah,
you have the Senate introducing laws and the House introducing laws.
Right.
So somewhere they'd have to say, okay, we'll have to flip coins on which one we're going to do. Right.
Yeah, they'd have to. Yeah, because with each law, I guess every time they go to pass something, they not only would they be deciding, would they be voting on the new law, but they'd have to be voting on what to repeal. Yeah. I wonder.
It would be pretty untenable.
I wonder how that works. The article that I saw about it was relatively brief. It didn't go into detail on exactly how they're going to do this.
I think I know what law they're going to repeal first.
What's that?
The one they just passed.
Is that a joke?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you knew something about a terrible law they just passed.
Nope, that one.
Oh.
Get it? Repeal.
The one they just passed, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
I'm sorry.
Stay with me, man.
I don't know. I just.
Okay, so what's your take?
I'm thirsty.
You're thirsty. I'm not going to say that. Hey, your bottle matches the pink sheet.
It does, yes.
That's really special.
Yes.
Yeah, last week I had my operation. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. They give you stuff so that the last thing I remember is being wheeled into the operating room. The next thing I remember is putting my tie on.
Oh, no kidding.
I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they give you medication now so that you basically have amnesia for the process. And so I went from that. My wife was driving me. I went from that. She drove me over to the State House to vote against gambling.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so basically I was legislating under the influence probably.
Yes.
I was just sitting there nodding off.
You committed an LUI.
Yes. We have to pass a law.
That's right.
There's no law against it. So.
We need one.
We definitely need a few of them. But that got killed pretty handily. I mean, it was 50 votes.
Yeah.
Killed it, which is pretty surprising. I thought it was supposed to be really close, or I wouldn't have gone from the operating room right to the the Concord. If I'd known it was going to be a 50-point spread, I wouldn't have.
Sure.
I wouldn't have bothered, but we didn't know it was supposed to be right down to the wire, so I showed up anyway.
Yeah.
But then as soon as that vote was over, I pressed my button and left.
You started to ask me what's my take on something, and then somehow I derailed you.
That doesn't take a lot,
I think it was me saying I was thirsty.
Oh, yes.
And it just totally threw you off.
Did you listen to the wording about the football?
Oh, the
phrasing they used was I wish I had a photographic type memory, because
about the investigation.
the investigation, they said that it is
Deflategate?
likely, it's something like it was likely that the people working at Foxborough knew about it.
Yeah.
The people involved. It's likely that they knew about it and that Tom Brady had knowledge of it.
Yes.
That doesn't mean anything.
Right. It doesn't. It doesn't conclude that they did know.
It doesn't
just
conclude
that it's-
anything.
Just that it's likely.
It's possible.
Yes.
I mean, that's that's like, to me, that's slander. That's really does all that amounts to is slander.
I wonder if, and I'm not a football fan. The only time I follow anything is when something interesting happens that kind of transcends the sport, like this. I have been sort of following this. But I wonder if that's so, because if I assume if the report were to say they definitely knew, or it appears that they definitely knew, then the NFL would have to somehow sanction or fine the team or the individuals, etc. So I wonder if by saying it's likely that they knew, that gets them around having to take any sort of punitive action.
Right.
This is kind of a way of sort of softballing it and saying, well, it's likely they knew, but we can't be sure, so we don't have to actually do anything about it.
Yeah, whatever it is, to me, if they only likely knew, they should shut up.
Right.
It's like that prosecutor in Detroit, bringing those guys up on charges of second-degree murder and all that other crap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the best I know, nobody really knows what's happened.
Right.
So she's charging them just to quiet basically she's just charging to quiet stop the riots.
I don't know. I think if you...
I mean, there is probably a case for negligence.
Yeah, you gotta charge them with something, though. I mean, you can't, because by that rationale, you could say, well, if unless you have someone caught on videotape committing a murder, you can't charge them because you can't know what happened. I mean, you still gotta charge them with something if you suspect that someone has done something like that.
Yeah, but all the information we have, obviously we don't have everything, is that they basically threw him in the back of the van, and whether they stopped quickly or whatever, he got hurt, and then they didn't give medical attention, which is, it's not really manslaughter. It's like negligent homicide or something like that.
See, I don't know the
manslaughter maybe, but not second-degree murder.
I don't know the legal definitions well enough to know all the difference, to be honest with you. We do have a call, though.
Huh.
Hi, welcome to Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades. Who's on the line?
This is Eddie. Thanks for taking my call.
Hi, Eddie. What's up?
Hey, listen, I just got a quick question. Where's the state stand? What's the deal with decriminalization of marijuana? How far did that get? Is it still alive? What's the deal?
I don't know. I know we passed it through the House, went to the Senate, and it's something decriminalization is something I vote for every 2 years.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's,
this wouldn't be legalization now. This would
I actually wouldn't vote for legalization.
2.5 ounce, right?
Yeah, basically it would be if you got caught with a small amount of pot, they would fine you and stuff like that. They wouldn't, it's not a criminal offense. And I'm in favor of
But you don't know, I mean, where is it up, down, all around?
Honestly, as soon as stuff leaves the House, unless it's my bill, I almost totally forget about it. Just because because I have like my stuff in my own committee that I'm dealing with or whatever, but it's there's an old saying, let go and let God. I mean, there's only so much that I have control over, and what happens in the Senate is not something I have control over, so I just let it go.
All right.
Yeah.
So sorry.
What's your input on commuter rail? Are you for it or what?
Based on the information that I've seen so far, I'm really not for it. Just because it's so expensive, and nobody's given us a real clear indicator as to how much it would the cost. all the cost benefit analysis I've seen means that the state would basically have to spend a lot of money to keep it going. I mean, if it was, if you could,
Arnie Arneson said last week though, or the week before on the station here, the same station on the progress report, that it would be good because lawyers would be able to do their work on the train and it would be billable hours. So, that's something you might want to think about. I don't know if you're a big fan of lawyers or not, but...
Oh, no, I think they all should be shot. Oh, did I
all right, well, listen, thanks for taking my call.
A fatwa.
All right. Thanks, Eddie.
Thanks, Eddie. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it, but the rail, but I haven't seen any numbers that say that it would be beneficial. I mean, if that's true, that lawyers would be able to, people would be able to do their own work as they're going to work, well, then theoretically you should be able to charge them enough to make it profitable. But if it's not profitable, why would you want the state subsidizing it?
Yeah, it just sounds like the demand isn't there.
It doesn't seem to be.
If the demand isn't there. I mean, it'd be a cool thing to have. But...
Yeah, it would be cool. I mean, I would like it.
Oh, sure, yeah, yeah.
Especially, as time goes on and my eyes go south, at some point, having a public transportation that would, take me from Manchester all the way to Boston or from Concord to Boston would be pretty awesome.
Right.
Okay, but is it a wise use of taxpayers' money if the taxpayers are going to have to subsidize lawyers going back and forth to Boston for the next 50 years?
Right.
And I don't think you can make that's not a legitimate argument.
And really, you can do that anyway. You can take a bus.
Yeah, there's all sorts. That's just it. There's all sorts of buses that go in and out.
Right. Yeah.
And if they're really good lawyers, they can afford a limousine. So
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
I'm
always
or
amazed.
Really bad lawyers. Depends on how you look at it.
I'm always amazed with the decrim stuff that hasn't. We're the only New England state not to do it, and it just amazes me. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. It's not even controversial at this point.
Not really. It's just political.
Yeah.
Okay. Maggie Hassan wants to appear to be tough on crime. Mm-hmm. I think it passed last term, and she vetoed it. I think. It's been like I say, I've forgotten.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what will happen this time because she wants to appear to be tough on crime.
Amazes me.
I don't believe in legalization until we see what the results of legalization are in Colorado.
No, that we disagree on.
I think you wait a few years, 5 years, if the SAT scores are holding their own and everything else, really, that's a good indicator.
I don't know. I'm a libertarian on that stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, that's my take on it. I'd like to I'd like to see the experiment pan out for a little while before we. I think, but anyway, So on the Detroit thing, what do you think about all that crap about the riots and?
Well, you know what? I support the protests, but not the rioting. Simple as that, really. People have a right to be angry when the police get out of line, and I fully support everyone exercising their First Amendment rights to protest, and they should. The rioting, of course, is stupid. Did
you hear the reports that it's very likely that some of the people involved in that were also involved in the enough people were also involved in the one in Missouri.
Yeah.
And that it's like a pattern, like in other words, they're
professional protesters.
Not just protesters, they're professionly
who instigate
riots so that they can loot and things like that.
Yeah, I did hear some of that.
Yeah. And to me, that's isn't that racketeering? Doesn't that fall into racketeering? Like if they can prove a connection, like
I don't know, would it?
Yeah, I mean that's how they get the mafia and stuff like that. They could never prove quite that they did A, B, C, or D, but they could prove that they were through a lot of evidence that they were conspiring to do A, B, C, and D and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how the RICO Act actually pans out. I don't know enough about it, but it seems like something like that should be done. I don't know. The thing is one thing I noticed. You have Al Sharpton out there causing, sharing the love.
Right.
The problem is 3 of the cops were black.
Yeah.
And 3 were white.
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
My eyes aren't that good.
Right.
But
right.
that's what it looked like on the Facebook poster.
Right.
And so it's not racist.
But well, okay.
Is
But
it?
if you look at it as it's not. I think you could argue it's racist if you look at it as it's not a matter of whether the officers involved are of the same ethnicity as the person who is harmed, but is there an overarching attitude among the police?
Policy, unspoken policy.
Right, right.
Yeah, but before it's always. But the thing is I grew up and I hung around with some not the best kids in town.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know that those kids were pushed around, let's say, at the police station.
Sure, sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
And it was not racist. It was because the cops knew who the troublemakers were, and they would take advantage of the fact that nobody's watching
Yeah.
and act revenge against them for the stuff that they didn't catch them doing.
Right.
Okay,
right,
now do I agree with that? No.
right.
But is it racist? No.
But ultimately, whether it's racist or not, it's still a problem.
It is still a problem.
people need to speak
but
up and
continually
protest.
identifying it as racism when it's just a police getting going above and beyond what they should be allowing themselves to do because of a situation like it's odds are that the guy that was killed is like maybe it's the 10th time they've arrested him in the last 6 months. And they just have troubles with this guy all the time, and they were rough with him because they're sick of him. No, I don't know. What?
That's a. I don't know, Gary.
I just know that's what I saw in my life or
Sure,
teenage years.
sure.
Is that's what would typically happen. Cops would be pretty reasonable to most people, but the kids that were always getting in trouble, they were pretty tough on them.
Sure. But we trust these people to protect and to serve, and we can't.
I didn't say it was right.
Okay, no, I get
But
it.
it's
yeah.
not. I'm just saying. I don't see that it was a right thing to do. Like in fact,
Yeah.
my buddy Brett, he and my other friend John stole a couple cases of beer, and they had two kids from Marlboro in the back of my buddy's VW Bug. And this was that night. They stole 2 cases of beer. They broke a window, stole 2 cases of beer.
Yeah.
Is that the right thing to do? No. Is it illegal? Yes. So the Berlin police in Massachusetts set up a roadblock because they knew they'd get the phone call.
Yeah.
And my buddy had a VW Bug, so he's just going around.
Yeah.
They opened fire on him.
Really?
There's bullet holes all the back of the VW Bug
Wow.
for 2 cases of beer.
Wow.
Now, I know they were doing stuff wrong.
Yeah.
I know that it was illegal,
Yeah.
and they should be arrested for stealing beer.
Right. Right.
Okay, I don't have
Of
any
course.
problems with but they shouldn't lose their life for freaking 2 cases of beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
Wow.
saying
Yeah.
that police overstepping is not right,
Yeah.
but it's not unheard of. It's always happened before.
Oh, sure,
But
yeah.
now all of a sudden it's racism.
I think it comes across that way because we keep seeing these examples show up where it's a person of color who's getting
Maybe.
shot in the back running away, or
No, that guy
what
didn't
happened
get shot in the
Detroit, or
You mean the other day? That was a taser, I thought.
no, a couple of months ago. Geez, I forget what city. It's hard to keep track now. I forget what city it was in. The guy who videotaped it. Guy's running away, gets shot in the back
But
by
it's
the
like
cop.
more white kids are getting shot every year than black, but it's a white cop shooting a white kid, so it's okay. But anyway, no, I think it's an absolute abuse of power.
Oh, yes,
I agree
yes.
with that. I just
Yeah.
think to keep portraying it as only possibility is racism, I just think is untrue.
Oh yeah, no, I don't disagree with that.
But we're out of time. We didn't have a guest, but man, we blow through an hour quick.
Yeah, we don't need no stinking guest.
We ain't no stinking guest. We'll see you, Matt. See
All
you
right,
later,
bye
guys.
everybody.
Yeah, my buddy